Shalom, everybody. Once again, we meet again, and it's nice to be back or doing another recording. I like to do it, whatever comes up in my mind, so I like to record this and encourage people. That's what I like to do. And during this lockdown, I've not been doing my business, so I've been staying at home. So I was thinking, what can I do? There's no way I can do that, no way I can do that. Suddenly something popped up into me. It said, God will make a way. And then I had this wildest imagination of how the Israelite was crossing the Red Sea. It was not easy. So I thought, why not bring out this something here? And God made a way for them. So we make a video for those, especially this time of season, in this pandemic. Many are there lost, many lost their job, and many just don't know what to do. It's quite bad out there. I know some of my friends are out of job and everything. Some people can even go to the extent of committing suicide, and when they find that there's no way, there's nothing they think they can do, that's what they end their life. It's very sad, it's very pitiful, So I thought I'll make this video, when during the time of Moses, God promised to free these people and take them to the promised land. But my story today is a bit different, preparing these people, being a slave for 400 years to go over there to a new promised land. And God didn't send any Superman there. God didn't send Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Rambo, or whatever, The Rock, or Iron Man, Ant-Man, Spider-Man. God didn't send these heroes there. God just sent an old man, a shepherd. Moses was more than 80 years old when he was there. This is the guy they trusted, and they're just crossing over. They want to get their freedom. They want to go into their promised land. Just living in one man. You can imagine what he was dressed up like with his old clothes. He was holding an old rod, I think it's wood. He was just following them, And we'll just look at the situation. People are just going to cross, and they come to a dead end. They just come to a dead end, to a sea, and then you see their leader, whoever's guiding them out, just pointing out a wood, and then praying or whatever he was doing, and there were a lot of people there, and probably they just don't know what is going to happen. What is going to happen? They are feeling at that moment. If I were there, I'd probably run back. I say, I'd rather be a slave. You don't know, there's only Red Sea there. Now, how are you going to cross? And you have the enemy coming at the back. And these are not just ordinary enemies. These are fearless guys who will just come near you. They're going to take your head off. They're going to come with sword. It's not like a gun, one shot or what. They come with sword. They just will slaughter you, and they are just coming. They're rushing. Thousands and thousands of them are just coming over to get to their people, So you can imagine how their feeling was, how their emotions was, what is going to happen. And here you got one guy holding a rod, a wooden rod or whatever, just pointing out there and spraying. And just imagine how is your emotion at this moment, This is how people, when in the reality, in modern days, when you don't have a job, there's no income coming, you can't pay up your bills, you may have more properties, you can't pay your bank, you can't pay for your cars and everything. People come to a dead end, emotions. Then they think, that's it. I can't do anything, This was the exact situation probably the Israelite faced, And then again, God did his wonders. God opened the Red Sea. Just imagine a great miracle, You just imagine Red Sea opening. If you've seen the movie, the Old Testament, you can know, how the Ten Commandments, you look for that movie and watch. It's a wonderful movie. And you can see the Red Sea opening, but in reality, we don't know. It must have been more beautiful, the sea opening, the Red Sea opening, and then they cross a dry land. That's amazing, dry land. It's not wet, or, after a flood, after a flood, the ground will be wet. But this was dry land, and probably in the side, it was like a huge aquarium. You can probably see the fish swimming and everything. And then these people walk on that dry land. Imagine, from fear, scared they were going to die. There was no way out. What is old man doing with his rod? What's going to happen? There's no bridge, and there's not enough for transportation, sea transportation, nothing. No boat, no ferry, nothing. And your mind is just shut down at this moment. What is going to happen? And then you see the Red Sea opening up. This is a great miracle, This is a great miracle. You see the Red Sea opening, and then they crossed, and probably they were looking left and right because probably the things look like an aquarium. You can see through fish, and you see how you walk, how beautiful it is. This time your emotion changed. The journey inside there changed your emotion. Wow, what a journey! It is not the promised land yet. God take care of them. Hey, come on, cross a dry land. It's not wet. They can walk properly now. Happily they walk. They don't tremble. Now you see the sight, enjoying a great scenery, and they are walking. This is fantastic. This is amazing, when you walk this journey, That is our God, When you think there's no way, He makes a way, and that way is beautiful when you walk that way. You need to walk, Our God is just like the eagle. When the eagle got their eaglets, when he's got their nest in a very high place, and you'll feed the eaglets, the eagle will go out, get food, come back, bring food for the eaglets, and one day you'll be sitting, you will just push the eaglets weight down. Just push them. The mother eagle will push the eaglets down so that they will drop from a high altitude on the air, turning around, and they will spread their wing and learn how to fly. They don't keep their eaglets in comfort zone. They know they need to fly one day. So they will travel them. You see, that's our God. He will do that to us. He will give you some trouble so that you will learn how to fly high. You know about eagle. The different kind of bird, So the eaglets will normally push their eaglets down from the nest. And these eaglets will roll in the air, and suddenly they will spread their wings long enough to fly. Then they will enjoy flying, cutting through the wind. The eagles is the only bird that will cut through the wind. This is how our God is, So, when there was no way for the Israelites, God made a way, all right? And the same thing in our life, I had a friend called Dave, and there was a time he lost his job. This was about 7 to 8 years ago. He lost his job, and somebody told me this guy's out of job and all. I went to visit him and all. He was so down that he was so discouraged, for I think it's about 2 or 3 months he was not working. He was so down. When I told him, I think, don't worry, you can get over it. You still go for interview, you'll get a job. He was so negative. He was telling nobody's going to hire me. I'm too old now to be hired, Probably they want young men and everything and all these things. That was his answer. But I walked an extra journey with him, an extra mile with him. Go on to see him every day. We will just tell him where's a vacancy, any factories I see vacancies, I will tell him, just apply any job. Take up any job, so that you get some salary, you can feed your family and everything. But he was so good, later he realized, and he even took up a security guard job, with a very low salary. He was a production supervisor earlier, was earning well, and now to a security job, it was long hours and everything, but he just took up. So you walked the journey for about 1 or 2 years, You walked. It was tough. Then he left the job. He went to another company, got another job and work. And today, after a few years, he's working for a rubber glove industry as a consultant, He was just hired there in a highly paid job. But a few years back, he didn't believe. He didn't believe that. He said, who's going to hire me? I told him something. For man, yes, they won't hire you. But if God has favor on you, He will make someone hire you. For your experience, you have a lot of experience in this industry, and you surely to get job, Look towards God. God will things make possible. That's what I told him. Until today, he believes that, it's not the age. Because our God is a great God. For Him, age doesn't matter for God. Only for man. For God, no. When His hand is upon you, you can get job, no matter what your age is. That's God. So he's happily working now as a consultant. He tells people what happens to him, So it's one great story. I'm happy to see him. His family is happy. A strong man who believes in God all the time now. It's good story, good ending, right? And then again, to another friend of mine, Lawrence. I remember this guy too, He was a banker. He was working in a bank, happily going to work, coming back. Sundays I used to see him in church. He's a very humble man and all. And then came a time where his wife wanted to further study to do a doctorate. I think they went up to New Zealand. So he resigned his executive job from bank. He moved on to New Zealand with his wife, he used to be in my cell group, and he used to teach me Bible, encourage, and he was such a good guy. So we went up to New Zealand. They rented a house there, and the wife was going to schooling there, studying there, and then he was trying to get a job. But it was so difficult to get a job, And then he told me once, there were times that even asked, "Are you there, God? Are you real, God? Why I'm not getting job?" It was so tough for him there, He didn't get a job. He almost lost his confidence, And then the only job that he got later on after praying so hard was the janitor's job, And his wife told me it was so difficult for her to see her husband because she used to be seeing him for years wearing tie, going to the bank, an executive. And today in New Zealand, he was just cleaning toilets, a janitor. So it was very difficult moment. But then they were thankful God offered the job, And slowly things changed, After she finished a doctorate in New Zealand, they went over, wife got a job, they went over to America, they were there, and I met them sometimes, they were here back for holidays. Well, I see Lawrence is a very different man, he's more bold now. Whatever he talks and everything is more energetic, he's a very confident man, The journey actually made them into a different type of people, That's what I always believe. The journey, the moment when you come to a dead end, and then God will open up, will make a way for you. When you walk in that new way, it's a journey for you to change your lifestyle, It's just like my friend Dave. He's a different man today, He's a very entirely different changed man. The journey that he walked, actually God molded him into a different man. He's very matured, and he's kind of a man. He's in a decision-making job, and making decisions is fantastic. And how he holds his money now, and everything I see is so good. And same goes to Lawrence, And then I don't stop here in my story, my personal story, When I was just new in Christ, this is about, I think I was in Christ for 2 months that time, I was just new to God and going to church, and I got a job, and I was doing a job, and I had a fight in my working place, a fist fight with, it's out of anger. We had a fight and all this. It was a little fight, but a police report was made, and I was so surprised they arrested me. And they charged me for attempt murder. This was horrible, It was just a little fight, but I was charged in court. I was put into prison for 2 weeks, and then after 2 weeks, I was out of bail for 3,000 ringgit. Oh, that was the journey. So I said, my God, what's happening to me? I thought, finished. I just started my life. I just want to be a good guy, Trying to go to church and trying to transform myself, and just was frustrating. Now I got no job. I was on bail at home, Somebody paid the bail, and there was a court case going on for 2 years. The court case was going on for 2 years, and I used to sleep with fear every night, And every time, but I used to go to my cell group, and my cell group was so good. They guided me at that moment. They gave me confidence. They said, we'll pray. God can change the thing, because earlier I already admitted I did the mistake. It was my mistake, But they told me, ask forgiveness for God. For God, nothing is impossible, So I used to pray and pray, but actually deep in my heart, I give up. I said, whatever they sentenced me for a year, let me go in. I was ready even that way, So it was 2 years, During these 2 years, the case was going on. Each time I go attend my case, somebody will not be there. The prosecutor won't be there, or my lawyer won't be there, or the magistrate won't be there. So they will always postpone and postpone. So it was 2 years, Then after 2 years, one day I was there. I was so surprised. The magistrate just called me up and said, you're free to go. That's it. Nothing is charged again. You're free to go. The case is over after 2 years. But the whole process took a turn. My life changed. My character changed, I know what will happen if I lose my temper again. So the journey was to transform me. The journey actually changed my life, So it was not a dead end. I walked the journey. It's just like the Red Sea, enjoying the helium, enjoying the dry land. That was my journey. So is anybody out there and you're feeling that's the dead end? I'm sorry, it's not the dead end. I got good news for you. God is going to open a new road for you. Walk the journey, and you see the fruit. You will see God's hand upon you, and you see great miracle. You need to walk. nothing will happen because God leads you. God walks before you. Okay, guys, that's one thing to wake you up today. So I made a short video. So any of you are interested, maybe you're feeling down, you want to call me, you can call me at 011-1531-7090. My name is PapaDeeva. So good night. Shalom. See you again in my next video. Good night.